Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's call. As usual, my name is Nick and I'm from Johannesburg in South Africa. Monday night, training night, very important. Welcome to all those that are live on this call tonight. We've got a full house here and you might be also watching this on a recording. Welcome to you too. Remember, we understand the situations people are in. We understand there's load shedding, especially in South Africa. So just know every Mondays we have training. If you, for some reason, don't get the recording, ask for it or look in your group Facebook pages, your WhatsApp groups, there'll be recordings there. So make sure that you get the recordings, because what the leaders share with you on a Monday will help you get to where you want to ultimately be in the business that you started. So never forget why you started. You started because one day you want to create a legacy business. You want to be financially free and you want a business where you can let your kids carry on with the business and your kids carry on with the business. Because remember, our business is willable, sellable, and transferable. So that's the beauty about this. And if you follow the system, I always say this, if you follow the systems and you duplicate what the leaders do, you're going to succeed. I've been in network marketing for just on 9 years. I follow the system. That's it. It's not, there's no here. If you do what you have to do, you are going to win in this business, right? Duplication. Remember, at school, you were taught, do not copy. Here, we say you must copy, right? A tip on Facebook, don't share a brand partner's post, copy and paste it. Because if you share it, your brand partner gets the business. If you copy and paste it, it's going to come to you. And that's how we do it. Remember, you're in it for yourself and not by yourself. So tonight's topic is going to be the power of four, and I'll explain to you what the power of four means. But together with the power of four comes the importance of correct placements. Because if you don't place your prospects in the beginning properly in your tree, you're going to struggle, because you're going to have people that are going to be on the inside legs and they're not going to know exactly what's going on. So if everybody duplicates what I'm going to show you tonight, and I'm going to share golden nuggets with you tonight, if you duplicate that, you're going to have a business that's going to leave you a lot of money one day. So with that said, to even start with a power of four, you need to know what it takes. You need to be able to recruit. You need to be able to do something and do it properly so that you can actually get the people to join your team. We call this the pipeline. If you know the pipeline, you will be fine. That's a very important part of your business. The pipeline, Tim Sales talks about the pipeline. We spoke about the pipeline last week with Henri and Yolandi. So the pipeline basically, people say it takes time. It doesn't take time in this business. It doesn't take time at all. It takes the quantity to figure out your messaging. What does that mean? That means the more you practice your story, the more you practice how to onboard somebody, the easier it's going to become for you to bring somebody onto your business. So only then, once you've mastered this whole thing, will you be able to correct your message so that you can actually recruit easier. So for me, without boasting, I've also said this before, I've mastered my story. I've mastered the art of recruiting, because if I go in there, and remember, posture is king. If I go in there and I'm going to talk to a prospect, a potential client, a potential brand partner, I can tell you right now, 9 times out of 10 he's on or she's on. So do that, and that takes practice. It takes practice with your colleagues, with fellow brand partners, with your teammates, with your family. Practice with them so that they can constructively criticize you so that you can improve. The other way of bringing people on, remember, you are new in this business. You're new in this business and you need to be taught the right way. Now, when you're going and trying to build your team, remember your leader, your sponsor, your upline is there to help you. Your upline will coach you, help you, and be with you every step of the way. And one of the most important things that the uplines do is third-party callings. They get involved in three-way calls with you. Now, what is a three-way call? These are terminologies that you're going to hear often, just know what they are. So Three-way call is very simple. A three-way call works in two ways. If you look at the diagram in front of you, the red circle is you, right? And there's a left and a right, right? The left-hand side one is where your upline, the expert, the upline, the leader, he's there. Now, when you introducing the expert, let's say for this, to your friend, your prospect, your potential brand partner, you've got to edify the expert first before the expert engages with the prospect. And why do you do that? You do that because the prospect needs to understand that the person that's going to speak to them now he's a successful person in the business, he's knowledgeable, he's helpful, so he's not this big daddy that's going to go and scold you, no, and he's fun. So all that you say in your edification, because you are edifying the expert now, you are saying that in the edification, and then your relationship with the prospect is that of trust. So the prospect trusts you. Now what you're trying to do is to get your prospect to trust the expert and vice versa, right? So once that's done, then you let the expert talk to the person, because remember, he knows what to do from then on. You have planned this call, he's expected the call, he's waiting for you to edify, and edifying can be anywhere. Edifying can be anywhere. Edifying can be, for example, let's take a Zoom call. If we're all on a Zoom call and a leader is busy giving the Zoom, right? The right thing for the leader to do is to recognize the upline. Recognize that person, that senior person on the call, because that person has the title. That person is there because they've had so many no's in this business. They have so many successes. That person is 10 to 1, a 6-7 figure earner. Recognize that person. You're edifying that person, right? And that way, the entire call will actually be uplifted, because they're not the only ones on the call. There are leaders and top leaders and uplines on the call with it. So these are the things that I'm just putting through to you, because once you master all of this and you know all of this, then you can start with the power of 4. The other thing is your story. Now, this is a very, very important thing in network marketing, a very important thing in your business, because facts tell and stories sell. So you need to have a story. And if you don't have a story, you need to go and find a story from one of your colleagues. Find one of your colleagues, let them tell you their story, and create a story until you got your story. Because remember, in this business, you have to become the product of the product. And if until you become the product of the product, you need to have a story, because everybody needs to have a 2-minute story. So before you start anything, you tell people a story about yourself, right? Then you practice it with a fellow, one of your team members. Let them give you feedback. Did they capture your attention? You to them. Did the story connect, or did they get lost with the story? Would you ask for more information if you were listening to the story? Why and why not? Okay. How was the pace? Was the pace okay? How was the volume? How was the tone? Remember, you've got to have your tone. And if you're watching me now on the little screen on the top there, and I do this, I come closer to the screen, that's very important, because you're talking to that person. That person feels you there. That person feels that you are actually zoned in on them, and you are actually genuine. You are actually talking to them, right? And did they use simple, ordinary words? Okay. And the tip at the bottom is what I said. Your body language is very important. Very important. Change your voice, go up, down, don't be monotone. But your voice must be up, down. They get bored. Remember, 2 minutes. Change the pace of how you're speaking, the volume of how you're speaking, the tone, and lean in when you have to lean in, because you capture that person, right? So those are a couple of little tips that I've given you just before I explain to you on the power of 4, because the power of 4 means the power of 4 people, right, in your business. Okay, it's actually the power of 4 times 4. What does 4 times 4 means? The power of 4 brand partners and the power of 4 customers, right? In this case, the screen that you're looking at there is brand partners, okay? Now, what is the difference between a brand partner and a customer? A customer is is very important. Why? Because a customer is not interested in where your head office is. A customer is not interested in where your are you on the stock exchange or not? Where's the product manufactured? All these things. They want the product because they want to lose weight. They want the product because they want to better themselves, transformation. They want the product to do that. They're not interested in the business. That's perfect, okay? Because what happens there? You can make retail profit there, okay? Retail profit. Remember, we get paid in 10 ways. This is money coming up front, okay, to you, and the brand partner is the other important side of your business, because that side of your business is where you build your team so that you can have your residual income, so that you can have the constant Friday check paid to you, so that you can go and lie on the beach and still earn money while you title advance. Because remember, all our products are points related, and 1 point, 1 PV is equal to $1, and $1 is whatever the rate of exchange of your currency is in your country. That is what 1 point's value is. So there I am on the left hand side, and I bring in my first 4 people. Okay, I bring in my first 4 people by applying what I had just run through with you. I've now brought in 4 people, whether they are colleagues, neighbors, cousins, people you met at a braai, people you know, whether they might be in South Africa, Kenya, they might be in Nigeria, they might be in Canada, the UK, Dubai, anywhere. We are a global business, right? You got to get 4 people in your team, okay? The power of 4 here is important. Why? Duplication. How you have recruited people is what you're going to teach the people that you have just brought into your team, and they are going to duplicate exactly what you did. Remember, if you're new in the business, don't go it alone, because you need to get a leader, an upline, somebody that's been in the business a little bit longer than you, to do it and help you to perfect it. Once you've perfected it, then you can go solo. But it's no shame to ask for help, whether whether that leader is in your team, whether that leader is not in your team. You know, alone you can go far, but no, alone you can go fast. That's the saying, right? Alone you can go fast, but together as a team you can go far. And that's what we're doing in Africa. That's what we're doing in South Africa, and shortly in Nigeria. We have got the continent, and if we play it right, we are going to make a lot of money. So you've recruited the first 4 people, you've taught them how to recruit and bring in the next 4 people. Suddenly, from just 4 people in your team, now you've got 16. Did you get the 16? No, you didn't. Your people, each one of those 4 that you brought in, have gone and done they've gone and done what you've taught them. They've each brought 4. So now all of a sudden, 16, and they've taught their people down the line. They become 64. Soon you're going to be earning 15,000 Rand a month. And hopefully by the time you're on 1,024 people, you're going to be earning 1.5 million Rand a year. Okay. Is it possible? Absolutely, it's possible. Can you do it in Africa? Yes, you can do it in Africa, but remember, we're in 85 countries. You can do it all over the world, anywhere. Because if you're recruiting somebody in the UK, in Canada, in Dubai, in the US, if they busy building teams there, you're getting the PV. You're getting the PV, and that is what you've got to do. The power of 4. So people have got this misconception is that you have to go out there and find a lot of people and bring them all into your team. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You know what? In our business, you get more no's than what you get yeses. Okay? Remember that. So you got to pray, you get a lot of no's. Our business is about sowing and reaping. Our business is about going onto the field and sowing. You sow your seeds, you're throwing them everywhere, and suddenly there's a wind. What happens when there's a wind? The wind takes the seed and it takes it off the field, and it's gone. Right. But there's some seeds on the field still. You must make sure you stay on the field. Don't ever leave the field. Famous Jim Rohn saying, never, ever leave the field. So you focus, you stay on the field, and you just keep going, because a no is never a no. A no is maybe not now. Because remember that seed that was blown off the field by the wind? It's going to get stuck under a rock somewhere. And what's going to happen? It's going to grow. Because the rain's going to come, it's going to fertilize the seed's going to grow, and you know what? The seed's going to come back to you. The seed's going to come back to you. So just remember that. You're going to get more no's than what you get yeses, but that's why I'm saying 6- and 7-figure earners, just imagine how many no's they got. And those people that said yes and are in their team, they're in the team. You know why? Because they have a strong why. They have a strong why, and we'll deal with the why and what the why means in another training session. But that's your aim. That is your aim, to get as many connectors on the team as you can, and eventually you get the builders, which will grow your team. So I've done a little example here, and this example goes under the matching bonus part of your compensation plan, right? You'll see there first generation, second generation, through to the 7th generation. Now, the power of 4 works like this, right? 4 people there, 4 people get 4 people each, becomes 16, blah, 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 carries on until you got 16,384 people, just by teaching 4 people to repeat and to duplicate what you did, and them teaching people to do what they were taught, right? So for the sake of this example, there's a total of 21,844 people if you add all those people up together, right? That's what your team has grown to. And remember, our business is like every other business. Do not get involved in this business and think you're going to get rich tomorrow. No, you have to spend time in this business, because the more time you spend in this business, the more TLC you give it, the more it's going to give you. Right. So here, over a space of 3, 4, 5 years, you reach 21,844 people. Right. And let's say each one of those people generates $200 a week in sales. Now, in a matching bonus, you have different percentages paid out to you per generation, right? So we'll go with a 5% paid out up to the 7th generation. If you take the $200 a week and you multiply that by 21,844 people, that will give you, not you, but your total group sales, $4.4 million per week. Now, you might say to yourself, never. This will never, ever happen. Firstly, never, ever say never. And secondly, between France, Spain, and Italy, they are doing between 3.5 and 5.5 million euros per week. They are killing it. Why? Because they're having fun. They're all crazy. They're all together. They're not one team. There's a lot of them together, but this is the action that is there. And this is the advantage that we have as Africans, because we can see what's going on. Remember, we've got 7 products now. And if there's any Nigerians on this call, guys, we started with 5 products. We have 7 and climbing, right? So have faith. You've got 4 weeks and then you start. But back to this, you've got $4.4 million turnover per week. 5% of that paid out to you. 5%. That's $220,000 a week. Now you say, please God, that happens. Right. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But for the sake of this, we say we're not greedy. We're not greedy. We just want 10% of this. We just want 10% of this. Are you happy with $22,000 a week? Think. $22,000. Convert to rands quickly. 300,000 plus rands per week. Are you happy with that? I'm sure we all are. Eh? This is what can happen, guys. This is what can happen. Now, this is, this is brand partner, right? You've got the other side, the customer. Now you've got customers that are regularly ordering from you. That's another side of the business that's amazing about what we do. Right. So I just wanted to show you this and show you the power of 4. So my favorite little video, it's a 3-minute video. I'm going to play it now. It's all about momentum. Now, what are we all striving to do? whether you've been in New Age Oryx for 2.5 years, or you've just joined, we're all going for momentum. And I'm going to play you this video, which has relevance to momentum. And it's going to explain to you what happens once momentum hits. What happens? And following this, I'm going to show you how placement will help. Okay, so let's just play this.
If you've learned a lot about leadership and making a movement, then let's watch a movement happen start to finish in under 3 minutes and dissect some lessons. First, of course, a leader needs the guts to stand alone and look ridiculous. But what he's doing is so simple, it's almost instructional. This is key. You must be easy to follow. Now here comes the first follower with a crucial role. He publicly shows everyone else how to follow. Notice how the leader embraces him as an equal. So it's not about the leader anymore. It's about them, plural. Notice how he's calling to his friends to join in. So it takes guts to be a first follower. You stand out and you brave ridicule yourself. Being a first follower is an underappreciated form of leadership. The first follower transforms a lone nut into a leader. If the leader is the flint, the first follower is the spark that really makes the fire. Now here's the second follower. This is a turning point. It's proof the first has done well. Now it's not a lone nut and it's not two nuts. 3 is a crowd and a crowd is news. A movement must be public. Make sure outsiders see more than just the leader. Everyone needs to see the followers because new followers emulate followers, not the leader. Now here come 2 more people, then 3 more immediately. Now we've got momentum. This is the tipping point and now we have a movement. As more people jump in, it's no longer risky. If they were on the fence before, there's no reason not to join in now. They won't stand out, they won't be ridiculed, and they will be part of the in crowd if they hurry. And over the next minute, you'll see the rest who prefer to stay part of the crowd, because eventually they'd be ridiculed for not joining. And ladies and gentlemen, that is how a movement is made. So let's recap what we've learned. If you are a version of the shirtless dancing guy, all alone, remember the importance of nurturing your first few followers as equals, making everything clearly about the movement, not you. Be public, be easy to follow. But the biggest lesson here, did you catch it? Leadership is over-glorified. Yes, it started with the shirtless guy, and he'll get all the credit, but you saw what really happened. It was the first follower that transformed a lone nut into a leader. There's no movement without the first follower. See, we're told that we all need to be leaders, but that would be really ineffective. The best way to make a movement, if you really care, is to courageously follow and show others how to follow. When you find a lone nut doing something great, have the guts to be the first person to stand up and join in.
How amazing was that? Absolutely awesome and very relevant to us. What we're trying to do is we're going towards momentum. That's what we want. Because eventually when you get momentum and everybody's in this and everybody's getting a paycheck every single Friday, people that said no will want to get involved because they don't want to be ridiculed, like he says. They want to be part of the action. And we're going to get there. That is what's happened in Europe. Europe has hit momentum and they are just cruising. They are just building automatically. So coming to enrollments, guys, and I want you to make a note here. I'm going to send out the recording, but it's very important in the beginning to do it right, okay? To place your people right so that you eventually have a tree that's on basic autopilot. Now, what do I mean by that? So you have basically 2 lines, right? We're just going to focus on 2 lines. And the simple process that I use on these 2 lines, you can carry over to your 3rd, your 4th, your 5th, and carry on. Right. So that's you in the beginning, and you have just recruited your first recruit. Note I've put him on the right-hand side. Put the recruit on the right-hand side. Now you go and you get your second recruit. Now remember the power of 4. Your first 4 people you need to place like this. Okay, so now you've got 1 on the left, 1 on the right. Okay, so There you go. You've started your triangle, right? Now, your third one, you're going to put under your first one on the right. Okay. And your fourth one, you're going to put him again on the right. Now, what are you creating here? You're creating a power line, right? What is a power line? A power line is the longer or the most powerful, the more powerful line of the two, right? To remember it, that's your power line, okay? So now you're creating your power line. Now, if just picture it now, 1, 3, and 4, if they do exactly what you've just done there, what happens to that power line? It just gets longer automatically, doesn't it? Your second, number 2 there, that becomes your baby. That becomes your responsibility, and that line is where you're going to make your money. Because the power line is going to run on its own, and the number 2, the pay line, we call it, that is going to be the crucial line, which you are going to nurture like a baby. So by doing this, you don't have to look after 2 lines. You just have to look after the 1 line, which is the left-hand side, right? The pay line. So, like I said, now the 3 on the right start recruiting. They bring in number 5, they bring in number 6, and number 2 starts recruiting as well. Now, remember, the same process must happen on the other side, but a mirror image of it. So in other words, number 7 and number 2, their power line becomes that line they've started now. Your pay line is the left-hand line because it's the weaker line, but it's the line that ensures that you earn. Now, why did I put my first 2 on the right and on the left? Because there has to be a power line and a pay line in order for you to get paid on a Friday. If you're only building a power line, you're not going to get paid. You're not going to get paid because it's got nothing to work off on the other side, on the pay line. So number 7 recruits again. So now you've started creating a pay line, not you, but 2, 7, and 8. They started creating the pay line on the power line on the other side, but you, as the top there, have a power line and a pay line. Now, which is the power line and which is the pay line that you're looking at on the screen? The right-hand side one is the power line, and the left-hand side one is the pay line. So they start buying product. They each start buying 500 PV, 400 PV, 200 PV, 200 PV, and number 9 also buys. But now, if you look at number 3 and number 9, number 3 decides they're also going to recruit, right? But number 3 recruited number 5 on the right-hand side, placed him on the right-hand side. Remember, he can't place him before number 4. He places him after number 4 because that was the next available spot empty. If number 5 was taken, it would have been number 6. If number 5 and 6 is taken and number 3 starts recruiting, he'll start him at number 7, right? Under number 6. So this line carries on. But number 3 then recruits number 9, and he starts building his power line and pay line. Okay, so right. So as far as you are concerned, whatever happens on the right-hand side counts as your power line PV. Whatever happens on the left-hand side counts as your pay line PV. So now the total on the power line, the PV, total PV on the power line is 2,000 PV, and the total PV on the pay line is 1,500 PV. Now, come end of the week on a Friday, you close off on the 12 o'clock on Friday night, and the power line gets deducted from the pay line, and the difference gets carried over into the next week, which is the Saturday. Right. So in this case, 2,000 minus 1,500 leaves you with 500 PV, which you carry over into the next week. Okay. So that's what happens with that one. And then let me just mute here because, all right. So what happens to your pay? Your pay now, the total in your pay line is 1,500 PV, right? Now, you get paid base commission of 10% on your pay line. So 10% of 1,500 PV is 150 PV. And what did we say? 1 PV is equal to $1. So automatically you've got 1,500 PV generated in your pay line for that week. You will get $150 paid to you on the Friday, the next Friday. Okay, because that's 10% base commission that you get out of the 10 ways we get paid, base commission 10% on your pay line, right? The 500 PV is what you start off the next month, the next week at, on your power leg, the next week starts on the Saturday. So if you understand what I've just shown you now, and you apply that to your teams going down, and they apply that to their teams going down, you have a business that's going to last forever. Because if they do left, right, and then the next two on the right or on the left, you're starting a power leg automatically, and your pay leg will just keep running. And your number 2, 7, and 8, if they do the same as what the 1, 3, 4, 5, and 6 did, they will start generating their power leg. Now you've all of a sudden got 2 legs that are running automatically, and you can go to the beach and you can just get your SMS on a Friday because they're going to do the work for you. That's what happens in our business. That's it. As simple as that. That's why our business creates the most millionaires annually, year after year. Fact, because of this. Okay? Because of this. Now, when you optimize and you start another pay line, you do exactly the same thing. Let it start on its own. Remember, you can only have 1 power leg, but you can have as many as you like pay legs. Right. So, very important as a new brand partner, you need to know a couple of important things here, that your first 4 weeks is what you got to generate 200 PV to get you to ultimate level. Go to your upline, go to your leaders, let them show you, let them help you. You need to get 4 people in, you need to sell product, get yourself 200 PV, because ultimate is where you ultimately want to be, because ultimate has lifelong perks, the biggest discounts, you ultimate for life, and then you've got 8 weeks to go gold, which means you're going to have 4 active brand partners, and when you ultimate, you're gold and ultimate for life, right? The next important thing is your reorder. Remember, you have to be the product of the product. You have to use the product, let the product start doing things with you so that you can start telling your story. Okay, we call it subscribe and save. I call it reorder because reorder sounds better. Remember, our product lasts for a month. When it finishes, you've got to reorder. Now, time it correctly, because in your your 4th Friday, that's when you have to reorder. That's when you have to bring in your 20 PV, because at this stage, we say you're still earning under $249 a week. As long as you're earning under $249 a week, all you're required to do is to buy product for 20 PV or sell product to a customer for 20 PV. That's it. Right now, we're fortunate not to have a sign-on fee. And you know what? Even if they decide to give us a sign-on fee, which they're going to soon, it's not going to be a lot, and it's a once-off. Okay. When they wanted to do it a couple of months ago, they were talking around $10. That's a once-off fee, and you know what? We'll pay it with pleasure, because like any other business, it's got its overheads, it's got to pay for things. So right now, there's no sign-on fee. And then in closing, last slide, there's a couple of quotes you've got to live by, guys. He or she who holds the clicker gets paid quicker. What does that mean? Where I'm sitting today is your goal. You need to be here next year. You need to be here where I'm sitting and do the Zooms, right? Because I hold the clicker and I make the money quicker, right? That's what you got to do. That's your aim, right? You got to be in a hurry, okay? You got to be in a hurry, because when time is money, you've got to go in there, because tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick, I got to go. Remember that. If you procrastinate and you waffle and you think the customer is going to run away, because they're going to, the eyes off the ball. But if they're quick, it's urgent, they want to be in FOMO, they want to be like you, they want what you got. That's what you got to do. Tell me yes, tell me no, tell me quick, I got to go, right? Successful people are busy people. Successful people are busy people. You know what? When they tell you I'm busy, I don't have time, you know what? They don't want to do it. Okay. Their why is not strong enough. They're not interested. Okay. Where attention goes, energy flows. So if you are alive, bubbly, and you are making waves, whatever, you know what? People want to follow you. People want to be there. Be active on social media. Go on social media, do your lives, make a mess, doesn't matter. You know what? People love real. They love real, so don't worry about that. It's funny. People will laugh, and remember, funny makes money, like I say. The fortune favors the brave. If you don't take risks, you're not going to make money, right? Rather attempt something and fail than attempt nothing and succeed. So the fortune favors the brave. Take the risk. Get out of your comfort zone. If you're out of your comfort zone and you tackle something head on, you are on your way to actual freedom. And then if it's meant to be, it's up to me. It's all in your hands. You're not in it by yourself, but you're in it for yourself, right? You're not by yourself, but for yourself. So what we're saying here is you've got all the backup, all the help that you need, right? But ultimately, it's your business. You're going to make it happen, right? And iron sharpens iron. Final saying. Iron sharpens iron, which means rub shoulders with those people that are successful. Rub shoulders with those people that have got there. Rub shoulders with those people that have got the experience. Success leaves clues. So guys, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Did you like that ending? I think it's amazing. So anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed tonight's call. I hope you learned and took away nuggets. I hope I made those that were a bit unsure, not 100% with it. You know what? Your uplines know what I've just taught you. Your uplines will help you. And if they can't, ask. There's people that will help you. You know, watch the recording again. Pause it, rewind it, go do whatever you want. I'm going to post the recording. So thank you very much, everybody. Tomorrow night, I'm doing a prospect Zoom at 8 o'clock. Get your people on, whether they're interested in the business or not. Just go to them and say to them, listen, I want a half an hour of your time. A half an hour of your time. Please be on a Zoom tonight or tomorrow night. Just watch it. And I'm going to phone you tomorrow and we'll talk about what you thought about the Zoom. But there's no pressure. It might be for you, might not be for you. Remember, don't make their minds up for them. You never know what they're looking for. So good night, everybody. Have a good day. You're still going to have your day. But thank you very much. Take care. And we'll see you tomorrow.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Great Zoom.
Awesome, Nick.
Great
Thank you
Zoom.
so much. You're a rock star.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.